for education, the death of education. So he's going to give a speech on how great education was and how now it's being killed. So we want to make it as dramatic as possible to get the word out there, that people know that what's going on with education. The other idea that we want to do is we want to find a color for a ribbon and start making, like last year we had the breast cancer, this semester again we're having the breast cancer ribbons. We want to get a color for the students for education, and something we just do, like, if you guys don't mind taking a Sunday out or something, and we just make mass amounts of these ribbons, give them out to all the students so we can all be unified especially on that day, try and get ribbons out to as many students as possible and have everyone wear them around school and just make this a huge event, a really big event, so we can get the word out. Like, that's what we're supposed to do, is get things out to the community and stuff like that. So we really want to get this event going. So if you guys, this like the big, big event. So we really need a lot of help on this. So yeah. Anyone have any ideas or anything like that?
Sorry, I just had a suggestion for the color. I think you should do electric blue because the No Child Left Behind symbol is like blue. And so maybe like that's like has to do with education already. People kind of think of that as like education. So I think blue would be a good color for something like that.
Yeah.
And it's really different than like pink or red or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about breast cancer or education?
We're talking about education now. The one idea we're throwing around is we kind of were thinking about money green, because this is what this whole thing's becoming about, is how they're just taking our money. So we were thinking about doing that, but we're taking any ideas just to get out there and just get this going. Yeah.
Any other suggestions or questions?
Well,
yeah.
I want a motion to either amend or rescind the decision for the March rally from the previous meeting. Can I do that?
Okay, so it's going to go on the agenda for next week. It's going to hit the Finance Committee tomorrow, so that's why it wasn't on the agenda. So you can.
So we have to wait until the finance.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So.
Are you talking about like not doing the March?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were discussing that after the vote. There's some people that came over. We're not sure if we're doing the March just because of how much it costs. We still want to do a lobbying trip to Athens, Sacramento. But
yeah. So it's going to hit Finance Committee tomorrow, right? We'll discuss it, and it'll come back to the Senate, and we can actually take an official vote on that. So yeah.
Also, speaking on behalf of like Joanna, Gabriel, John, and Regem, we looked up into the budget and we found that by April 1st, all proposed adjustments are due. So it's imperative that we send some sort of voice in March. It doesn't have to be necessarily the March in March, but don't vote it out unless you're voting a replacement, because if we don't go in March, our last chance for the May revisions, which won't be a substantial change like the way March will be.
So a lobby effort has to be before April 1st.
It has to be before April 1st.
And so this is kind of like in hand with that. So not necessarily that we're ruling the other one out. I don't know if you guys heard me say that. We're not. That's still going to the Finance Committee meeting. We're trying to add even more to that to have an even greater voice on campus for everyone else who just realistically can't go. Everyone else who's not in the ASO, who just doesn't even know, who can't drive up there or whatever, doesn't have the means, but would still, want to have a voice on this. So this is looking to be a major event. Carrie actually helped out with getting T-shirts, a good amount of T-shirts that, I forgot his name, but he's willing to basically print for free. So we're going to have T-shirts, candles, ribbons, people out here. So that's what it's looking like. Yes.
Just to let you know, the ribbons are now donated as well when you pick your color.
Ribbons are now donated. Oh, awesome. So now we just have to pick a color. That's awesome. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
So a few calls are being made, so I just wanted to know, so this is looking to be March 14th at about 3 p.m. The actual debate with Pam Brown and Professor McKeever will be around 4 p.m. and the rally will be right after that. So any suggestions, any questions, any color suggestions or anything like that? Are you guys, yeah.
Can I have a motion to table the discussion until March 8th, the next Senate meeting? Because then everything will be together. It's right then, right there.
I think the point of this right now, we're just throwing out ideas. We want you guys to know about it, and then we also want your ideas. so that we can start putting this together, because it's 2 weeks away. So right now, we're just throwing it out there, letting you guys know what we're brainstorming, and we want your guys' input in the decision making. We want you guys helping us. We want to make this the biggest event we've had in Pierce in a while. So
Yeah.
So this discussion is only on the march here at campus?
Yes.
Not about the march?
this is a March.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I've been confusing.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do this just for the sake of time. If there's anyone else who has questions, suggestions, wants to participate, just come see me afterwards so we can get a good group of people and we can start really working to make this event successful. Cool. Brad, you want to talk about action or discussion?
Yeah. So I wanted to run through, this is actually David's idea, and I wanted to run through all the standing committees that ASO has a spot on, what the committee is, what it does, and who the person is who's supposed to be going to those meetings. And then for any vacant spots, I wanted to allow Danny to appoint someone to sit on that committee. And I'll tell you, when the committee meets and all that stuff. So let me run through these really quickly. And I'll save the ones that don't have anyone on them I'll do that with those last. First off, ASO does have a spot at the Academic Senate meetings. And that's actually Danny. He reports on behalf of ASO. They meet on this is the teacher's equivalent of ASO. It's the Academic Senate. They meet every other Monday at 2:15. So they met yesterday. So the next meeting will be March 1st. So Danny will be going to that. The next meeting or the next committee is Pierce College Council, and how do they meet? Just once a month. Just once a month. PCC. They meet once a month. They meet once a month, and we have 2 spots on that. One of them is your one spot, right, David? And then the other one is Danny. And then we also sit on the Student Affairs Committee. That's a district-wide committee that's made up of all the ASO presidents. That's once a month. Danny sits on that committee. The next committee is called the Student Success Committee. And that is a campus-wide committee of teachers and staff and a ASO student. That's their mission statement is they are devoted to helping students succeed. And Danny sits on that, and their next meeting is March 22nd. Then there's also the Task Force Committee, the Textbook Task Force Committee. This is a committee that is you pass the money for. To give the money to do the survey. They are trying to help find ways to make it easier for people to buy textbooks and things like that, and what's the best means to get textbooks to students. This is made up of students, faculty, and staff. Phoebe sits on that committee, but there is a spot for one more person. I don't know if you want to appoint someone now, or if you want to, if anyone is interested.
Is anyone interested?
They have a weird meeting day. They meet Fridays.
What was the meeting about again?
Textbook Task Force. Basically, we're going to approve us having textbooks and being able to purchase them and stuff.
If there is one vacant spot, and if you're interested, talk to Phoebe and she'll appoint you as the second person. Now these 2 committees are pretty important committees that Danny cannot attend, and so he wants to appoint someone to attend on his behalf. The first one is a pretty important committee. It's called the Accreditation Steering Committee. The school, Pierce, has to get accredited as a community college every so often, and that's going to be coming up soon. What that means is that a statewide committee comes in and looks at Pierce and makes sure that we're achieving a certain standard so that we can keep issuing degrees. There is a committee that has been formed of teachers and staff and an ASO person to oversee getting the school ready for this process. Now they meet tomorrow, okay? And Danny needs to appoint someone to go to that meeting. Is there anyone who is interested in? It's up to him. He gets to choose.
What time is it?
It's tomorrow at 1:30. Do you have questions, or do you want to go? and Taco.
Okay, how about then, I guess I'll talk to both of you guys after the meeting, so I can ask you guys a couple questions on that, and then we'll,
Yeah, that's at 1:30 tomorrow, and it's in the College Services Building Conference Room, which that's the conference room next to the business office, next to the work. And then last is the Diversity Committee. This is a campus-wide committee that's in charge of